Why you smile?
I can't smile.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Madhouse Podcast, where we laugh at just about anything. If you're new here, we're just four guys giving our opinions about various topics. And if you're coming back to us, sit down, get comfy, and buckle up, because you're about to have another fun ride through our minds.
Well, those of us that have one.
Raleigh.
Thank you for letting us know which one it was. Jesus. All right, well, I'll kick off the news this week. A gentleman in Ohio, which, I don't know, man. I listened to a lot of Loveline with fucking Adam Carolla and Dr. Drew growing up. And they did a lot of like Germany or Florida, right? So they would tell like a crazy story and you would have to decide whether the story originated in Germany or Florida. But lately, I feel like Ohio should be added to that fucking list because a gentleman called the Hibbard County Sheriff's Department to report his vehicle stolen. When the sheriff looked the vehicle up, they put out an APB, blah, 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 and they found the vehicle only to find out that this gentleman had stole it himself not 5 days prior. So he called the police on himself because his stolen truck was then stolen from him. So
I feel like Ohio is just is a close runner up to Florida.
It really is. The weirdest fucking people I've ever met. And there's something, I don't know what's up with this dude. Like, he's just off. He's just 2 clicks to the left, and I can't figure out why. Where are you from? Sandusky? Fuck, that's what it is, dude. You're from Ohio. You're fucking... What's going on over there? Where are you from? Tampa? I fucking knew it. So, word to the wise, if you're going to be a criminal...
At least be a smart one.
Jesus, try a little harder. Well, I don't know what he thought was going to happen. Like they were just going to give it back to him, no questions asked. Like, sorry about your truck.
Here's your stolen truck.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, from Ohio over to Japan.
Short walk.
The title here is just quick hop. Man in Japan gambles COVID town funds mistakenly sent to him.
Bro.
So essentially what happened is the town had accidentally wired him. It was 46 million yen, which is about 360,000 US dollars.
Wow.
But that it's a small town. But that $360,000 was meant to be like a COVID fund for individuals in the town, like low income families.
Sure.
It was like each family was supposed to get like $530 of that 360,000. However, when they sent it to the bank and financial institution, they mistakenly pit one transaction and they wired it all to the top person on the list.
Right.
And he happened to be the top person on the list. Well, he gambled away almost all of it.
Did he just think, God damn, these stimulus checks is busting, boy? God damn.
I mean, who do you blame for that, though? You can't blame him. He just woke up to $360,000 in his account.
I don't know, man. That makes me think about you told me that story of like the day all your VA back pay hit your account. Mm-hmm. And you woke up and checked it and you were just like, don't fucking touch anything. I don't know what's going on. Don't touch anything until I figure out what the fuck this is.
I'm always like that, man. Anytime any like large sum gets deposited in my account, I'm like, all right, nobody touch anything. Because I'm not trying to pay back $360,000 because I ain't got $360,000 to pay back.
Bro, only prior service is the ones who get like upset or scared when you see extra money show up in your account.
Yeah, no shit.
Because you know they're gonna snatch that money. Well, that happened to me once when I was in. So when I got back from deployment, they never turned off, or they never like turned off my comrades and stuff like that. So, and I was still living at the barracks at the time. Bless you. Still living in the barracks at the time, so I got a meal card. However, I had just gotten back from deployment. I had a promotion raise. I wasn't really looking at my LESs. I just kind of assumed a little bit extra was, you know what I'm saying, from the promotion and all that shit. Wasn't really sure like what my baseline was. So for like 7 months, I guess I was double dipping into comrades and had a meal card, was eating at the chow hall. And I woke up one payday to no money in my account. And I was like, it's payday. What the hell? You know, so go over to IPAC, which we use, which is, you know, personnel administrative search, individual personnel administration center, where our finance people are. And I was like, yo, where's my money at? And they're like, you mean our money? Yeah.
They did that with my BAH. I think it was like a month or two. They kept it going after we put in all the paperwork, like had finalized my divorce and all that. And I was already back in the barracks. And then I was like, yo, we did everything right. Take the money.
That's the thing, is I did everything right. They just never stopped it. So it was a fault on their side.
Sure. It usually is, but they still fucking tag you. No, that shit happened to me too. Yeah. A little bit different story. So when I got my field grade, my first one, it was supposed to be like a month's pay forfeited, but it was suspended. So basically what that means is when they take a month's pay, they take 50% of 2 checks. You know what I'm saying? Or technically 4 checks, and then they take it all, blah, blah, blah. Suspended means if you play it cool for the next 6 months and nobody hears about you, then they don't take it. But if you fuck up within that 6 months, they go ahead and take the money. So it's like a punishment, but not really. But they went ahead and took it anyway. And then they were like, while we're at it, we just won't pay you for like 4 months at all, anything. And so, yeah, my credit card looks like hell, Boots. Trust me, okay? That's honestly when all that shit
you need started, a 20 or something? Damn.
Yeah, when all that shit started is when I bought the Touareg because I needed to drop my payment. And when you buy a vehicle, you got like, you know, a month and a half before you have to make the next one. So it bought me a little time. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, they didn't pay me for like 4 months, dude. It was rough. And then when I finally got it all figured out, like, because when I didn't get paid the first time, I was like, I went through my paperwork, blah, blah, blah. Fucking Fulbird said it's suspended. So we went down, and at the time, the master sausage that was the S1 was a really, really nice lady to work with. And she like, bro, like, and she kept saying, well, you know, she basically tried to blame it on me. She goes, well, you're the one that got on Article 15. I said, well, you're the one who fucked my paperwork up. How about Master Sergeant? How about you go to parade rest? I was like, how about you fucking slide $2,000 out of your check and then tell me you wouldn't be in here pissed off? You know what I mean? Like
typical S1 where you walk in at like 9 a.m. on a fucking Monday and they're like,
oh, we're closed
for the day.
yeah.
For training.
What?
Or every time I've had to bring a Joe in there, or anytime I've ever even interacted or been in that office, it's like a ghost town, bro. Like they're not really doing a bunch. Yeah. Now I get that there's a lot of fucking logistical shit that needs to get processed and ran through S1 in a day. Check Raj. I don't want to do it. I guess my GTU score was too high. But every time you ask them to do something, it's, well, you need an appointment, and it worked 3 weeks out. And you look around and everybody's playing fucking Minecraft or fucking Minesweeper and the fucking computers and TikTok and shit. And I'm like, this guy right here can't just do it. Like, it takes 90 seconds. Like, I'm trying to update my SGLI, my DD93. You know what I'm saying? Like, it just takes 2 seconds. Why are we doing this shit?
I've already got the paperwork filled out. All 100%. I got to do is submit it.
You fucking enter it on your side.
Yeah.
Our next soonest available is June. Fuck. Fuck that.
Piece of fuck.
Fucking unbelievable shit, dude.
What you got for us, Boots?
I got two of them for you. Side note, I managed to dodge that because my roommate for the longest time was in S1 and we were cool as fuck.
Convenient.
But yeah.
You were sucking his dick, weren't you?
You're supposed to tell anybody.
Why not?
All right.
Unless you
I mean,
were
it's pretty
bad
bad.
at it.
It's
That's
like,
what
Would you rather be
It's
good at
okay,
sucking
dude.
dick or
Like, nobody's gonna
terrible at
judge
sucking
you.
dick?
That's a tough one.
No, it isn't. Honestly, it shouldn't be. But I'm not terrible at anything, bro.
But look, on one hand, I
I'm
don't
gonna
want to
do
do it. On the other hand, I don't want to be bad at anything I'm doing. You know what I'm saying?
If I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna be the best there is.
Knock that dumb bitch loose, boy. Let me know.
Good.
Okay. Story number one. It's a real quick one, but some lady had some kind of rare disease, and she was going to the doctor. Finally got a diagnosis, but they charged her $40 on her like itemized bill for brief emotional behavior. She got charged $40 for crying for like a second in her appointment.
Good.
Like she
What
ain't
is
even
this?
there for
What
like
was this again?
Wait a minute.
I'm not entirely sure yet.
So it's
they
a
weren't
made-up
very
story.
specific on that. I got real names and shit. It's just some applications.
No,
Is
where
it a real
was
name?
this that she got charged this?
In his head?
No, like in a hospital. Like you see, visual acuity screen, hemoglobin, capillary blood draw, brief emotional behavior. So like real shit. Here's a bill for crying.
Well, I
Not
don't
even gonna
think
ask
that
you
was
why you were
crying.
crying or say, "Hey, you good?" But
I think she may have had a bitch fit.
Yeah, probably.
And in that case, I don't entirely blame them entirely. But like it would be even funnier if you posted a sign that's like, "Hey, look, we're going to charge you for wasting our time."
Right.
X, Y, and Z.
As most places should. However, on the contrary, I should have a discount for you wasting my time.
Ooh,
Yeah.
agreed.
And so I cried for 5
I
minutes,
accept those terms.
but I waited 15 minutes to get seen. You know what I mean? So I feel like we're even.
Right.
Yeah? No? Yeah? No?
Right.
it's like
I
you
don't
put
know,
my
that's a
appointment
tough
at
one.
2,
9:30.
you didn't see me till like 3, so
Right.
Yeah, that's a tough one because I work in the medical field and I've worked in the medical field for a long time in a lot of different capacities. People shouldn't be that like emotional. People shouldn't be that scared or that fucked up or that whatever, and it not be completely like a rational time and place to do it. You know what I mean? So if she's having a freak out, I am inclined, just from my perspective as a medical professional, that bro, who didn't like educate this lady or communicate with this lady what the fuck was going on? Because people don't like, generally speaking, very generally speaking, people are rational, generally speaking. So if she's tripping balls and she, generally speaking, if she's tripping balls at a medical appointment, like I find it hard to believe that the fault doesn't go back to the clinic for one reason or another.
Right.
like,
I mean,
not
at some
seeing,
point.
I don't see what the condition is or anything, but just like, oh, you've got the AIDS. Also, there's a bill for that.
I mean, that also
That's what I'm
usually
saying.
happens-
If it would had to have been warranted as irrational or erratic for them to be like, oh yeah, let me check the
Erotic.
fucking she cried box or the she had an outburst box or whatever. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What were you saying, Will?
said usually like they'll tell you very personal news in your own little patient room too. So
Right, which leads me to believe they're
eh.
either not communicating or
Yeah.
they're not. educating the patient to some degree. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
a lot of
what
patients
news?
come in and they have WebMD'd themselves into a fucking anxiety attack. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of times you have to like strip all that shit back and educate the patient as to what's going on and communicate them with them as if they're a fucking human being. You know what I mean? Not just patient
what
number
news
one.
source did you get this from?
That was
I'm just
Indie TV.
curious. What?
Where?
There's just like a whole like offbeat section on Indie TV.
Anti-TV?
Indie. November Delta.
TV.
Watch it be some sort of satire.
Knees
I was gonna
Duds.
say,
It's not the Onion, is it?
I've
I've been busted on that. In the beginning, I'm going to be honest, before I really caught on to the Onion, I was like, what the fuck is going on over here? These Ohio folks are wild, bro.
But they are.
I just have a
That's
hard
the thing.
I really have a hard time believing this story.
I kind of do too.
I mean, I can look more into it later, and we can circle back onto it. But
Again, not to say that there are unprofessional medical professionals, but
Right.
I've met a few.
I feel like it takes
I don't know.
more than you think. People are, especially if it's something like bad news or a test result or something of that nature.
And
People
the
go
thing
into
of that
it
is
already jacked up.
here's the thing of it though, and here's where I have a hard time believing this is that bill is sent to insurance agencies, sent to all these other, so it's not going to have anything like that on it. It's emotional charges, or you know what I'm saying. That's not all this shit's regulated.
Yeah, Blue Cross Blue Shield isn't going to pay those erroneous fucking fees. They barely pay for all the fucking medical care,
Oh,
All right,
man.
second story. What
But
you got?
better one for you. You might.
I
enjoy
fucking
more.
hope so.
There is a small town up in Maine that they hired this lady to be like whenever COVID was going on, to handle all their vehicle registrations, their records. Like she was just the go-to lady there, and she'd been doing a pretty good job apparently for since like mid 2020 up until earlier this year, and she did such a good job they didn't hire anyone else in that like office. So it was like town, like city hall and the DMV all in one. And because, the Undertaker and the mayor are the same fucking person in tiny home. Yeah. But they denied her 2-week leave that she was trying to get. And it's like, oh yeah, no one's been able to take over during her absence. I'm like, all right, well, you can have a permanent absence then. I'm out of here. So the whole town shuts down. Like no one can pay their fucking bills. No one can go register their cars and shit. And I don't know. I got a kick out of it.
Did you get this from a faux news network as well?
Okay. Jesus fuck, dude. I don't even know. There's so many things at play here. First of all, PTO means prepare the others. Okay. It is unless it is something. I don't know. It would take a special kind of circumstances that maybe your leave would not get approved, regardless of what the military seems to think. Them not having coverage for you is piss poor management on their part. That has nothing to do with me. And furthermore, something that I love to say is don't burden me with my own greatness. If I'm badass at a job, that's awesome. That's good for me. I reap the benefits of me being badass at my job. You failing to have backup or coverage or anything for incidentals is piss poor management on your behalf, not mine. I'm out. I'll catch y'all in 2 weeks. If I don't have a position when I come back, cool. If I do, looks like y'all figured it out, huh? You know what I mean? Like, that's either way, it's not my problem. I mean, I don't want to lose my job either, but
unfortunately, like most of these supervisors think they can get away with this shit, and the reason why they think they can get away with this shit is because most employees let them get away with this shit.
1,000%, 100%.
Because when they tell you no to your PTO being denied, you don't ever ask questions. You don't ever question it. You just, oh, okay, well, I guess I'll just not go to that event, or I'll
I
miss
wasn't
that
asking,
important.
asshole. Like, I was notifying you.
And that's right. And that's my philosophy always, is if I've got the time and I'm requesting to take the time off, I'm not asking you to take the time off. I'm letting you know it well in advance, because I put my time in well in advance.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I'm letting you know well in advance that I'm not going to be here for those days, and you need to find coverage for those days.
I mean, certainly, especially if the employee is doing their due diligence, which isn't always the case.
Right.
There's really no good excuse besides, what do they say? That's an emergency, or a lack of preparation on your hand doesn't constitute an emergency on mine.
Emergency on my end. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Seems like you fucked up somewhere. Like that, I'm
Yeah.
not going to pay the price because you're piss poor managed company. Again,
Right.
I'll catch y'all in 2 weeks. If I have a position when I come back, great. If not, it looks like we're all going to move on from here.
Yep.
And especially in today's market, bro, these companies don't have a dog in the fight because there's 15, 30 more behind them that'll pick you up the next day.
Yeah. Like I said, man, these companies and these supervisors have just gotten too comfortable with not letting people have what they agreed
They're
upon.
owed.
What you agreed upon. It's not necessarily that you're owed. When you agreed to work for a company and they agreed to hire you, they agreed for your time in exchange for what? Time or money and time off.
Mm-hmm.
It's part of the agreement.
I mean, even furthermore,
And a lot of people.
Furthermore, like society in general, everything is now more, with bring your own device policies, with, working from home, unfortunately is also a side effect, but, everybody, businesses expect you to go home and still do work. And it's ridiculous. Now, I mean, in our field, it's not really, but in a lot of fields, it's still that way.
In any field, you employ me and you pay me, and my time in exchange for money and time off is from the hours that were set and agreed upon.
Oh, I agree. I'm just saying that they take advantage of that.
Yeah.
I mean,
heavily take advantage
the same
of that.
way. We're probably too much of a tangent here, but I mean, you could argue the same way with cops too. There's so many things that you, like, if you don't know your rights entirely, they take advantage of the fact that you don't know them.
Mm-hmm.
And they've gotten so used to exercising within those parameters of kind of, technically gray area, that when it goes to court, they're okay. But if you don't know any better, you just get steamrolled.
Yeah.
And the thing about it is, and you'll learn, and if you haven't experienced this, or you haven't experienced a supervisor like this, or you're still young in life, you'll learn, and you'll learn those people real quick, because you start beating them with policy, and it pisses them off more than anything, because they know that they have no answer to policy. You can't beat policy.
You try to write up an employee and he comes in the next day with a manila envelope that's about that thick, you done fucked up.
I've done it plenty of times, man. I mean, I'm a good employee, and I'll, from the time I'm there, I will work my ass off. However, I'm not just going to let you bend me over and fuck me in the ass dry, no lube. You know what I'm saying? I'm at least going to hand you a lube packet. You know what I'm saying? All right.
Here's the Astroglide, big dog.
At least let you know you're special. This isn't just an everyday occurrence.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, but no, I'm going to fight. I'm going to fight when you try to, screw me over, or, and that's the problem with a lot of, the society these days is, oh, well, I need this job, so I can't fight for my rights. I can't fight for what's right. I can't fight for other employees, because people see other employees getting taken advantage of, and
they sidestep.
What is it that you say, Will?
That's not me.
Oh, not my
What's
chair,
your
not my
famous saying
problem.
Yeah, not my chair, not my problem. You know what I'm saying? And they let it happen. But the thing is
It's
what
going to
comes
come
around
around
goes
to you.
around.
Yeah, it's going to come right back to you.
Yeah, and I think that comes from all of us having spent a good chunk of time in the military too, because you don't get a fight. You just Charlie Mike, fall in. Like, it just is what it is. You
Right.
just got to keep doing it, And so I think it comes from all that lack of lube for so long for all of us, that it's like, ha ha, ha, I know a dry dick when I see one. Everybody, I don't know about how the Marine Corps called it, but in the Army,
The big green weenie,
the green
boys.
weenie, you either get good at sucking it or you'll
Yeah.
take it in the ass. Either way, the green weenie gets what the green weenie wants. So you might not like sucking dick, but you're going to get good at it.
It really comes down to is and I say this saying all the time, and people look at me funny. When it comes to me getting screwed over and me fighting for it, and I tell people all the time, I don't like dick in my cake.
I don't. Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
I mean,
it
you're
gets
wrong.
funnier the more you think about
I can't say
it.
I've ever had a big cake either.
And that's essentially what it is when you're getting screwed over. Think about it. You're sitting there at your fucking break, having a nice fucking nice piece of cake, and your supervisor comes in and just fucking slaps his dick
right in the middle. Got frosting in your pee hole and everything.
Right.
Jesus Christ! All right. What's the next story? what do we got here?
Yeah,
All right. I got it. So this is, let's see, this happened on the 17th of May. A Texas mother learned a very hard lesson about leaving her phone unlocked when her son ordered 31 McDonald's cheeseburgers through DoorDash. Her 2-year-old son.
and tipped.
Oh,
Did he tip too? I didn't have to make it that far.
Yeah, he tipped $17.
Hey.
Yeah, and he tipped.
Oh Christ!
Oh, he was hungry.
$150 with the DoorDash fee.
Let me see if they had an actual dollar amount. The cheeseburgers cost $61.58 and a $16 tip, so the total came out being $91.70 after all the DoorDash fees and whatever.
Yeah.
So before I was in the military, I'd never had a passcode on my phone. But being in the military, you learn real quick, fast, and in a hurry to leave your phone locked at all times. If you step away from your phone for half a second, you better lock that phone, because you will come back to some of the wildest crap you have ever seen.
Posted onto your timeline.
Pictures posted on your Facebook timeline.
Yeah.
Dick pics,
Your
ball
gallery's
pics,
full
asshole
of,
pics.
nuts. You open up your browser, homepage is meat spin.
Yeah, I did that.
No, because
I did that to one of my roommates. He was like a big PC gamer and shit, and he I fucking hated it. His bedroom was directly above mine in this house, and he had like one of those like 2.1 audio systems on his computer, so he had a sub on the ground. So he'd be playing fucking whatever at the, either early in the morning or late at night, and my fucking room is shaking and shit, right? So one day I knew he was coming home from work soon, so I cranked his sound system all the way up, and I set his homepage to meat spin. And I oh, come on,
you spin me right.
And I knew he was going to go up there and fire up his PC, and you spin me right. Fucking neighbors heard that shit. How dare you motherfucker! And he comes running down the stairs.
Yeah. It's funny though, bro, because like even to this day, I still lock my phone and put it face down on the desk.
That's your coping mechanism from the trauma.
It's just, yeah, it's just. Listen, it only happens to you once before you learn your lesson.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying?
My phone just unlocked in my pocket all the time, and every time I take it out, it's like, you may unlock your phone in 17 hours. It's like, what the fuck, dude? Like, I've been in the motor pool all day. What happened here? So,
Oh man,
we got a Karen this week. What's the deal?
Yes, we do have a Karen this week. Rodney, do you want me to send this to you so you can play a video? Do you have it set up to do so or no?
Yeah, just shoot it in the messenger.
All right.
In Facebook Messenger. And I'll have to open it up somehow or another.
All right, so while we're pulling out the video, so the title reads, Cops Called on Women Insisting UPS Stores are Private Residents After Being Asked to Wear Mask. This is back from December 30th, 2020, so it's a little older, but yeah, she insists the UPS stores are private residents because
that
her
was
packages...
Justification for not wanting to wear a mask at the UPS store?
Yep, she called all the other people within the store conformists. And then when asked to either put on a mask or leave, she's like, you can't make me. This is my private residence.
I don't know what that means. What do you think it means?
Because her mail got sent there. So, I don't know. I'm going to let the video talk on that one. But
Jesus Christ.
Her actions throughout it, like I watched it for a little bit. Her actions throughout it are just absolutely hysterical.
Where is the video?
Should be a Twitter link on there. Yeah.
Do I have to click on the white woman going viral? Nope. That's not it.
I think we get the point. I don't know, man. Like I never understood that. Don't get me wrong.
Okay, there we
If
go.
I had the opportunity to not wear a mask versus wear a mask, I'm not going to wear one. There's nothing political about that. There's nothing.
It's comfort.
Fucking, I'm fat. I got a deviated septum. And I want to breathe, bro. Like, you know what I mean? I'm not like it's not that I'm cautious about my own health or other people's health. There's no other reason besides I'm fat with a deviated septum and breathing is hard already. So like, I don't want to fucking do it, man. But I work in a hospital,
here we go.
and I have for a long time. So
for me, like I'll wear it if there other people or like a business ask me to, because that's their right to do so. And yeah, I'm not going to be an asshole about it. That's all. But if like given the choice, I'm not going to wear it. It's just not.
Absolutely.
Yeah, here's the same as you've got the right to like, go shop somewhere else. Hey, you need to wear a mask in here. All right.
Wearing one
because I feel like
why are you wearing one?
Because I'm protecting everyone else.
I've already had COVID back on December 20th, 2019.
Can you go so we can finish?
Huh?
Can you go so we can finish?
Can you finish?
I can't because you're holding up everybody.
Is she the manager? Who's the manager?
Who's the
There it
manager?
is.
Manager.
There it is.
Who is the manager? Who
Holding up everybody.
is she the manager? Who's the manager?
Dude, that fucking 1998 bump it said it all. I would have known that was trouble from the second.
Dude, I saw that. I was like, this is it. This is it right here.
Oh my god.
She walks inside, you just see her hairdo. Just nope. Turn that ass around and go.
But that takes us back to like Boot's story from a couple weeks ago. Well, I ain't never going into a goddamn Starbucks again.
All right. Have at it.
Yeah. Like, I don't know.
Okay.
Like,
good luck, Godspeed.
You're not going to take down the corporation because fucking you decided you don't want to wear a mask at the front door. You're never going to win that regardless of how passionate you feel about that topic. Never going to win. Put the fucking mask on or roll out.
Yeah.
Nobody without blue hair cares.
Sure. Yeah. Like, it's just such an irrelevant moot point. Half those people don't want to wear a mask either, but their boss said, hey, mask up. So you either don't wear a mask and you don't show up for work because you don't have a job anymore, or you strap up and clock in.
Pick your battles.
Exactly. You're not going to win. There's no point in it. I don't understand it.
All right, Ronnie, what do you got for a story?
What? I already shared my story.
You already did your story?
Yeah, get your life together. The
Oh,
story.
man.
Yeah, why aren't you paying attention? Wow.
I know.
So,
but we do have a main story to talk about today.
We do. So, 14 May, a mass shooting occurred in Buffalo, New York at a Tops Family Market store. Supermarket in the Kingsley neighborhood on the eastern side of the city. 10 people were killed, 3 others were injured, 11 of the victims were black, and the shooter live streamed the attack on Twitch. The shooter was an 18-year-old white male. He drove 200 miles to this particular grocery store to carry out the events. He not only live streamed the event on his Twitch account, but apparently he has over 180 posts that in some capacity are him planning out or expressing details, intent, something of that degree, that he was going to follow through with this shooting. He is very openly identified as a white supremacist. The attack was specific to this neighborhood, this location, this time, this everything, to specifically target the black individuals that shop at this particular grocery store. Apparently, there were several white patrons of the store that were overlooked, bypassed, whatever, not attacked. And then the last note that I have written here is apparently New York has very specific set of gun laws. I can only assume what he used is an AR-15 because all the news outlets call it a Bushmaster assault rifle, which I don't entirely know what that is. I looked at the Bushmaster website; they didn't have anything that was even called assault rifle, so I don't know what he ordered.
There's no such thing as an assault rifle.
Yeah, so we'll get into that. We'll get all into that. Apparently, the weapon was modified to accept a 30-round magazine. I'm assuming that New York's laws prohibit high-capacity magazines. And so, anyway, he made modifications to the firearm. So, that's where we're at. Shoot. There's a lot of things here. So
nobody saw his post prior and were like, hey, that's not okay. I might need to say something about this.
That opens a whole can of worms.
Yeah. So
because
apparently he has a pretty substantial, I guess in today's day and age, a substantial following. So there was visibility on all 180 plus of these posts.
At what point, though, at what point do you give up your own personal sovereignty for the protection of others? And essentially what this falls under is freedom of speech. And the fact of the matter is there was no crime committed until he actually physically committed the crime.
Correct.
But making all these posts, I mean, you could sit here and say all this other stuff. It doesn't mean you're actually going to carry it out. So at what point do we give up our own personal sovereignty and our freedom of speech for the protection of others, give or take, more or less?
Yeah, I mean, 100%. And so you got to think, though, like if, not that any of us are racist or are planning to shoot up a grocery store, but like, if you just look at some of the fucking memes that most of us post, you could say, well, how far do you look into that? How anti-Semitic or racist or bigoted, or how far is the joke before we don't take it as a joke? Or how do we react? And then what is the answer? If you're just Joe Schmo follower, you don't really know who this fucking guy is, right? And is he just blowing smoke? Is he...
Like, how many of those guys are like looking at their phone like, man, this motherfucker wild. Next.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, but what do you do about it?
Yeah, I guess that's what I'm trying to say too, is Do you want to be that guy? Because most people don't. Most people are terrified of confrontation, be it physical face-to-face confrontation or even just, hey, sheriff's department in blank city, because he said he was 200 miles outside of Buffalo. He didn't actually live in Buffalo. There's this dude online who's making inappropriate posts. You know, what do you do? What's the answer? You know, like, and so
take off work and go to the fucking supermarket and just hang out there, with your piece on you. Like,
I mean, the thing of it is, though, is even if you do report it to the police, they can't
do anything.
Can't do anything about it. It falls under freedom of speech, and at the end of the day, if they go investigate it, all he's got to do is say, "Oh, I was mad.
I was just kidding." Right.
Oh yeah. So at what point are we willing to give up our own personal sovereignty and freedom of speech to
potentially protect? But that puts us that you could use that blanket, that justification, to literally almost everything that's going on right now.
Right.
The masks.
How much freedom?
How much are you?
How much freedom are you willing to give up?
Right.
And then at the same point, everyone's guilty until proven innocent. The right to due process. And if you want to open it up and say, well, yeah, I do. Innocent until proven guilty.
I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
That's how you're
right. I had to think about it for a
Facebook.
second. Yeah, I had to think about that for a second. No, you were right. Innocent until proven guilty, the right to due process. How much of that are you willing to give up? Because now that opens a whole nother can of worms of what about the people who actually didn't commit the crime and now they're being falsely punished?
But punished for what? Mm-hmm. Conspiracy to commit? That's not a crime.
You knew about it and you didn't tell anyone.
That's the other crazy part too. Is like there isn't really a clear avenue and a right path to take. But then after it's said and done, it's like, well, you fucking knew. Well, kinda.
Well, and the thing of it is like you can't. You start going down this path, and what other rights do they start taking? Because you gave up this one, so all right, well, now we're going to snatch this one. And now we're going to snatch this one. And now here we are. We have got no freedom of speech. We've got no weapons to protect ourselves from the government. We've got, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
It's a slippery slope, and as much as you want to say, oh, well, we should have done something about it based off of his Facebook.
You make a fat example out of him, and that's about the best you can do.
So it's funny you say that, because that kind of brings up something that a reoccurring theme that I've noticed, certainly others have noticed, in all of these mass shootings, bombings, any of these domestic terror events, these very pointed crimes where either a singular or an individual or a group sets out an attack on the mass public, or in this case, a very targeted race, right? Is, God, wasn't the fucking the Boston bomber on the cover of Rolling Stone?
Yeah, you get glorified.
Yeah.
They're absolutely celebritizing these fucking insane fucking people. And I think that's what a lot of them do. Certainly the youngsters in the schools, and they're shooting up the schools. They're fucking shooting up movie theaters, shooting up fucking all kinds of wild shit. They know that they're basically going to be immortal after it's done. Yeah, they committed this heinous crime, but like, fuck that Batman movie, because that kid in Aurora, Colorado shot up the fucking movie theater, and it was during a Batman showing, and everybody knows him as the Batman killer or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Or they give them these kitschy names, they get their moment in the sunshine, and they basically live on forever. They're famous. They got all the attention they wanted. at a cost that they don't care about.
The only thing that you really can do at this point, and we know laws don't stop criminals from breaking the law.
Yeah.
It's very apparent. However, laws are there in order to punish the criminal. So I think the only thing that we really can do at this point is make it to the point to where it's not worth committing the crime. You make that punishment so strict.
Well, yeah. And but they'll just kill themselves at the end. They don't actually want to do the time. They just want the notoriety, right? And whatever
So what do you do?
Whatever sub community, because obviously this child is intermingled with all sorts of white supremacist, racist, anti-Semitic groups, and in their eyes, he's a celebrity. People that he looked up to, he did the Lord's work. You know, he went out and took one for the team so that he can get some kind of glory in the eyes of this particular group. So even if he did time, he wins in his own head, right? I don't think they'll do time, though. I think they'll just start killing themselves at the end.
I think that brings up the further issue, though, of it's not a gun problem.
No.
But it really goes to show that we have a mental health problem here in the United States.
150%.
I could not agree more on that.
That's what it comes down to is it's a mental health problem here.
Absolutely. And while we're on that note, if I may, for just a second, shout out my boy Jimmy Mack. He's a veteran buddy of mine. He started.
Who?
His name's Jimmy Mack. I know. He started a company called Stand Strong. It kind of brings awareness to, not specific to veterans, but seeing as how he operates within the veteran community, and most of us have some problem or another based on our time serving and whatnot. So anyway, he started this clothing company, and he hooked me up with a t-shirt. So I told him I'd rock it on the podcast. But
is he gonna sponsor the podcast?
I don't know. I'll see.
I want a shirt.
Let me see if I can't get
your brother a link.
Two extra smalls for those fuckers on the other side, and then we'll see if I can get you an M size.
No, but it really, and part of the issue too is, and I'll let Will speak on this one because he has a little bit more experience than I do. I just know for a fact trying to find mental health care in America with today's society is next to impossible because of the prices. I don't know, and like I said, I'll let you speak on that because I don't know.
Like, it is prices. That's one point, but it's also time. There were so many places when for our viewers watching, I go see a therapist. It took me a long while before I finally started going to see one, but I'm seeing one now. And every time I would reach out to a therapy office, they're like, "Oh, it's going to be like 3 weeks to a month." I'm like, I kind of need to see somebody soon. Like, that was what I really wanted, was I want to see somebody in like the next week or so, because I understand business got to operate. They have appointment schedules, but a month out, like that's a lot of lives. You're just like, holding in your hand.
Private setups.
Yeah,
they've got these private setups where you can do it on your phone or something. But then you're gonna have to pay out of pocket. Sure, it's maybe $100, $120, but your insurance isn't going to cover it.
You got to take away like what we make out of the equation. Like,
that's
for all of us, because there are a lot of people that don't make anywhere close.
Yeah. B, bro, most insurance companies don't cover mental health options.
Yeah,
or they'll say you're good for the 10 visits. We cover 10 visits. Or 8
That's pretty much like what it is even for mine.
Yeah.
I was like, I still pay out of pocket just every visit because I'm nowhere near my my deductible. And
or
that's the only thing I'm doing.
They might they might do how they do with chiropractors, and hey, first $20 is on us, but $20 isn't fucking shit. It's a drop in the hat when it comes 100%. To seeing a mental health professional. Like I said, I don't really know the cost, but from the people that I've talked to and then doing, a little bit of research, that shit's expensive, man.
And we're not downplaying how difficult it is to actually be in that field and, understand what you understand and all that kind of stuff. It's just, in order to make it really effective, it needs to be cheaper for the general population. I want to make that clear.
Yes. Yeah, and another big issue is
the time because I do want to say, like, somebody who struggles with anxiety, that's a lot of time to sit there and fight with your emotions, what's going on in your head, and also to back out. You know what I'm saying? When you got your mindset on something.
Yeah, like I backed out. What was it? I think right after I made 2 or 3 different emails out, I think I stopped looking for a good 2-3 months.
Sure.
And then I finally got back.
It's even more difficult when you have a penis. And not that they're not going to schedule you or anything like that, but
I don't mean to laugh. That was
I know you don't.
So random.
I know. But for the rest of us, it's.
I have an Audi.
I have a Volkswagen, whatever, dude. So anyway, it's hard because I've seen I've been to behavioral health a lot, and I feel like I've never experienced a therapist or whatever capacity they were, credentials they had, that I felt actually took me serious, because I feel like even within therapy and a therapeutic setting, the same societal norms are at play.
Nobody
what can I do different? What did I do? Basically all the blame got put on me. Any of my plight was not taken serious, because it's like, yeah, but you're a man, or you're,
I was going to say the big issue that I fight, and I go to therapy as well at the VA. The biggest issue that I fight in trying to find good mental health is, you get there and you tell them, hey, these are my issues. This is my triggers. This is what I want to work on. And then they go, well, have you found the triggers? We're going to help you work on finding the triggers. Well, I know what, causes my anxiety. I know what causes this and blah, blah, blah. Okay, well, you just need to, and what they say is, well, you just need to find something that helps you get through that. Well, you think if I haven't been fighting for this for the last 7 years, if I had found something already, I wouldn't be here. I'm here to have you help me find a way for me to get through this.
I think that's pretty much like when I was talking to Rodney about it, when I first wanted to start going, was like, I've identified all of my issues, the root causes. I just need help getting past them. I need the tools to move past all of those issues and all those root causes. So I definitely feel for that. It's rough.
And it's hard because then I feel like on the other side of that token, maybe we put too much weight on therapists to solve our problems. Sometimes there isn't some fucking magic routine. Sometimes there isn't the magic words. No, sometimes there isn't some. And
the thing, the thing of it is, though, is no, you're right. Is there? You're never going to go back to 100% how you were before. And we realize that. Yeah. The issue is I've used all the tools that I have in my toolbox and the ability for me to try to solve my issues. Sure. So now I'm here because you have a wider variety of tools than I do. So maybe you could help me find something else. Vice you just saying,
yeah,
well, you need to find a way to solve that. Well, no shit.
Why do you think I'm here?
Yeah. That's true.
Fuck, dude, you just wasted an hour of my fucking time. I could have fucking told myself that at home. Yeah, that's why true. I'm here, is because I've been trying to tell myself this is what I need help.
Honestly, the best fucking the best advice I ever got, the best actual therapy that I ever got was from my substance counselors. Because we weren't immediately talking about my BH issues, we were targeting the problem as the substance. And so when you talk about the substance as like a hard physical target, and how are we coping with, what draws you to use, what blah, 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 right? It was easy to take those analogies and like personifications of the big bad substance and just apply it to the rest of my life. And I feel for whatever reason, maybe it was that, I guess, sugarcoating or putting that particular skin on it fucking helped me a ton. And that's a whole nother can of worms, is
The silver
substance abuse,
lining.
man. Self-coping and self-medication.
It was
Fucking almost worse, you know?
And that is the big thing. And what really sparked me to try to find mental health. And I think it sparked the same for Will, because I sent him this video. There's a dude and he was just talking. It's a TikTok video. I'll send it to you.
That video is
exactly
why.
And he's sitting there and he goes, I'm a great father. I'm a great employee.
Great husband.
I'm a great husband.
Great
I'm
friend.
a great this. I'm a great that. He goes, but what am I to myself?
Oh yeah.
And that even just saying that, like, sends chills down my body of, bro, I spend so much time being this to everybody else that I don't even spend time on myself. I don't, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And at the end of the day, you kind of sit there and you think about it and you struggle with, who am I?
Yeah. How do I value
yes, I'm
myself?
all these things.
Yeah. 100%.
Right.
I
Yes,
see
I'm
how
all
other
these
people
things, and I
value
value
me, but
right. How do I value myself and who am I?
right.
And that really, and I feel like that's probably the identity struggle that a lot of us, most of us veterans, struggle with, because, most of us are great friends, great, employees. Most of us are great workers. We get out and we're used to this speed of working and not the, civilian speed of working.
Sure.
And there's nothing, I'm not down talking them. It's just
different.
we're going to get it done, and we're going to, it's just different.
The tempo's different. Yeah.
The tempo's different. We're going to get it done. We're going to get it done right. And then we're going to go back and double check, and then we'll still be done before you.
And we're going to talk shit though. So
right.
Yeah.
That's a given.
The whole time.
So,
yeah.
So, we focus on all this, I'm this to this person, and this person values me as this, but where's my own self value?
Yeah. And especially those guys that are transitioning out, is you put so much of your self-worth and your identity into the Army.
Mm-hmm.
For the longest time, I mean, granted, I've only been out 6 or 7 months now. I still catch myself saying shit in reference to the Army. Oh yeah, we do. That's not me. I'm not. This isn't a we. This doesn't have anything to do with me. You know what I mean? But I still find myself identifying like that was such a big part of my life for so long that I still find myself assimilating and identifying with that identity that was me as in the Army. So.
And that's, I guess, that's a difference. A difference in branches, though, because like the military is, once, or the Marine Corps, once a Marine, always a Marine, and we still, consider ourselves to be Marines. You'll never talk to someone and they'll be like, "Oh, I was a former Marine."
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? It's just, and it's that brotherhood.
We'll just save that for another time.
Yeah, well, you wish you could be the best, but
I mean, if you had marketable skills in the real world, you wouldn't have to keep reverting back to your Marine self. Yeah, but I go bang bang. Okay. Anyway, so yeah, this shit is gonna continue to take place regardless of the gun laws, regardless of community guidelines on fucking social media, regardless of the platform. These things are going to continue to take place. And unfortunately, there isn't really a fucking solid answer. There ain't anything you can do. Check on your homies, man.
At the end of the day,
that's a big one. They preach that a lot in the military, and I stand by it. I know, not to get all sappy, but dude, this 90 minutes that we hang out and do this shit every week, it's a big grounding. It's like a grounding rod for certainly for me. I'd certainly hope for the rest of you too. But it's a big deal, man. You got to find that. You got to find that thing, and just call your buddies, man. Call your buddies, because they're going to put more weight in your opinion and what you got going on than whoever their therapist they're paying $150 a fucking week to tell them to solve their own fucking problems. You know what I mean? Like.
Yeah, no, I think really to wrap it up, people are pieces of fucks. People are going to continue to be pieces of fucks, and there's nothing, any kind of law you put in place is going to help it. Gun law, social media laws, freedom of speech laws. It's proven that criminals don't follow laws. However, work on your mental health. Like Jeremy had mentioned, reach out to your homies, make sure they're all right. However, know when to pass them off to a mental health professional.
Know your own limits as far as what you can.
And Will is, a prime example of somebody that he'll tell you, I'm the first to admit, I don't know how to help you here, bud.
Yep.
I've told him that
numerous times. I appreciate that because it's not,
because I'm not gonna step out of my realm.
Me.
It's honest. It doesn't feel disingenuous. At least exactly. I know that if you don't know, you'll tell me no.
Yeah.
Right. And so, know when to pass them off to a mental health professional and know your limits. And when your friends do reach out to you, the best thing you can do is just listen. Mm-hmm. And listen.
Shut the fuck up.
To understand.
Yes.
Listen to understand. Don't listen to respond. Because they don't want a response most of the time when they're reaching out to you. They just want an ear.
There's actually, I've struggled with that for a good long while. As you guys know, I'm autistic. And what? With that comes a couple of...
No way, dude.
He can draw good.
You're good at drawing?
That comes with a few struggles as far as the social department. Like, sure, I was reading books this thick in the first grade and doing quick maths. And so the books department's always been good, but people skills I had to actually teach myself.
Are you actually autistic?
Which was rough. Yeah. Where have you been?
I thought we were just making jokes this whole time.
No.
he can draw a mean pony.
Yeah.
Hella good pony.
Oh, so listen, hey, this is the shining example of not really listening. So I just thought we made jokes. I didn't know you're actually diagnosed with.
No, I've known for 13, 14 years. So
sure.
You're the one late at the party. But all that to say that I have to explicitly ask. I have to explicitly ask, hey, before you get deep down this rabbit hole, do you want me to help solve this, or do you want me to just shut up and listen?
No, honestly,
my default is to solve shit.
I do that too. Not even being in your shoes. I do it now. I'm like, hey, do you want me to give advice or do you want me to listen? And they're straight away. It's listen or give advice, and then from there on, you just go with it.
Mm.
Yeah.
It's a powerful tool.
And I feel like it puts the message sender kind of at ease too. They feel like they can express more or let go and just fucking vomit the information out when they don't feel like, God, if I bring that up, I know they're going to go down that fucking tangent or that rabbit hole and try to tell me X, Y, and Z.
They know what to expect.
Sometimes, most of the time, we know what the fucking answer is, and we know how to execute it. We're just not in a place. We're not mentally ready to do that thing yet. So you reiterating it back to me is condescending, and I don't want to listen to your bullshit. And eventually, I'm just not going to talk to you anymore. You know what I mean? That's it. That's how that escalates, and then you're left with nothing, regardless of how many people are around you.
What were you going to say, Rodney?
Yeah, the more you talk to your friends too, and Will and I have a lot of deep conversations. We've talked to each other about numerous of shit that's occurred in our lives, and just. We talk about our mental health a lot, between him and I. And the more you get to know the person, the more you talk to them, the more you start to learn when they want you to listen and when they want advice. And because I know right away when he wants advice and when he just wants to get something off of his chest.
Yeah, bitching pretty much.
And there's nothing wrong with that. Sometimes you just got to get it off your chest, and that's it. That's the end of it. Now you're done.
Yeah, you're cool. You're all right, I could tackle it now.
Yeah.
So.
Like finding out that in this area, your sewage and your water are separate companies. That's a funny story for later.
Listen.
That's a funny story for another time.
I thought that was going to be in this area. There's dozens of MILFs within 3 miles of you.
No.
Yeah.
You would be the one to pull that up, though.
You're gonna end up sending 10 grand
So-
to some Nigerian prince.
How do you know?
I promise you I won't.
All right, John.
You know, to wrap this all up, work on your mental health. It's not unmasculine to go to a therapist. I think we have all seen some kind of mental health professional at some point in our lives. You know, the four of us at least. Yeah, you know, and so there's nothing wrong, and there's nothing, you know, unmasculine or whatever the stigmas are these days. I don't pay attention to what the stigmas are.
Yeah, you're more of a
Work
man
on
to
your
address
mental
your issues. You're definitely more of
Yeah.
a man to make yourself better for the people around you and for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Don't
So
be
it's
afraid
not-
to also say no to a therapist. Like there are bad therapists out there. They exist. So if you find one there's not a good fit for you, then don't be afraid to go find another one. Don't swear off therapy because you had a bad one.
And there are plenty, like in the office, I'm sure most have plenty other therapists there. So
Oh, yeah.
it could be as simple as like, hey, I'd
Right.
rather talk to this person, see how they are.
and there's nothing wrong with when you schedule your first one, you know, letting them know, hey, I'm more comfortable talking to a male, or I'm more comfortable talking to a female, or whatever. Hey, I don't want an old man because he can't relate to me. There's nothing wrong with,
100%. Yeah,
with
absolutely.
saying that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's there's a bad stigma about getting help for mental health, and don't fall into that. You know, if you need help, work on it, and know your self-worth, man. Every day, tell yourself you're great and you're doing good things. Just like
true.
I tell
I know
these
we
guys all the
we
time.
tried to wrap it up
I'm
like
proud
4
of what they do.
But
Yeah. So to wrap it up again.
hang on, real
Again,
quick, one more tidbit, and then we wrap. If I can throw out a reading suggestion, I did this for a buddy of ours in the group chat recently, but I highly, highly, highly recommend Psycho-Cybernetics for anybody who reads, or get it on audiobook if you're lazy like me.
And what is it about?
It's about kind of reprogramming how your brain accepts information, and furthermore, what you do about it. You know, it's
I
like
think I might read that.
it's if you use the example, you know, like if you hypnotize a bodybuilder and tell them that he can't pick the pencil up, or he can't stand up out of the chair, he can't. You know, and if you get a guy who can preacher curl 100 pounds, and then you hypnotize him and say, you're the strongest motherfucker this side of the Mississippi, he'll curl 180 pounds. You know what I mean? It's reprogramming mental blocks. It's starting your progress in your own head, instead of, okay, well, I want to open a chain of car washes. So I need an LLC. I need a blank. 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 It's reprogramming how you do it. If you consider like a heat-seeking missile, has a handful of functions. It has an ordnance, it has propulsion, it has servos, and it has a little computer, right? And that servo, nothing on that system says you're doing the right thing. You're going in the right direction. It gets a ping when it's not going the right direction, right? It's a strictly negative feedback system. And if you just retrain your brain how to correct and how to accept negative feedback to put yourself back on course, then you're going to bomb them every time. You know what I'm saying? But there's no stop banking on positive feedback, because you're not going to get it. Certainly not from yourself.
I think we could.
You know what I'm saying?
I think we could probably talk a lot longer on mental health, and we actually might do an episode in the future strictly on mental health, because I'm sure we all have a lot of input. But this was fun, guys.
Cool.
Sorry. Oh, gosh.